clear your screen. Okay. Few moments of breathing, finding that perfect balance of structural integrity through alignment, and then softening and relaxing the gripping, holding tension in the body. And it's that softening that allows body weight to not get held in the frame of the body, but rather for it to wash right through and connect down through the feet to the ground. And with sitting in a chair, we're connecting through the chair as well. So it's kind of like we're a tripod at the moment, 2 legs and then a chair. But when we stand up, it'll just be those 2 legs as our conduits to the root. But it's that alignment and then the softening, a combination. And it's not something we do and then we don't have to think about it again. The body's natural response to stimuli is to tense up, to be defensive, to be cautious. And it's that caution that keeps us safe to some degree, but then it's also what keeps us from being relaxed and sensitive to subtlety also. So sitting meditation is an opportunity in a pretty safe context to try and find that quality that then you want to find when you stand up and add challenge. Breathing assists us in funneling the mind into the present. Let your mind rest on the breath, be interested in it. As well, the breath is something like 26 or so different muscles, expanding and contracting. And then this movement of the breath is also helping to pump the various flowing elements through us. And then keeping this general quality as we go through our joint mobilization. Slide your hands past your knees a little bit, drop the head, rounding the back a gentle amount, and then sliding the hands back, elbows back, lifting the chest, gently arching. Do this 3-4 times at your own pace. Just get the parts that can move to move a little bit. So this is movement in the sagittal plane, arching and rounding. Settle to the neutral position and move in the rotational plane. One hand slides forward, other hand back, turn shoulders and head to the hand that's gone backside, and then switch. Just gently coax the body through that rotational movement. And then back to the middle. Lateral movement. Let your arms hang by your side. Tip softly to the right. You can let left wrist float up. And then tip softly to the left as the right wrist floats up. Ilana, can you mute your screen for me, please? Thank you.
What?
Can you mute your screen, please? Thank you.
I'm sorry, I didn't know that you have a class today. Sorry for being late.
Oh, that's okay. It's good to see you. Happy Labor Day. Oh. And we're back to neutral. Shoulder circles, forward, up, back, down, moving from the shoulder blades as they slide around the rib cage. And reverse. And just coaxing these movable parts through their range of motion. And finishing there, bend your elbows, bring your hands up. Elbows flare out to the side and slightly up. And then down to the side. And then around in front, squeezing gently. And then down. Out and up. Just kind of polishing. And down. Around in front. And down. Around, out, and up. And down. Down, in. Down. Now, elbows back, down, forward, up, forward, down, back, down, forward, up, forward, down, back. A few more. And elbows out to the side, palms facing down, one above, one below. Wrap. Elbows out to the side, other above, other below. Wrap. Elbows out to the side. And wrap. Out. And wrap. Out. One more in each position. And down. Legs. Chamber, push, chamber, down. Switch. Chamber, push, chamber, and down. Continue. And think of this like you're just trying to pump. You're compressing, extending, recompressing, setting down. Compress, extend, compress, down. Do that twice more each leg. Now, as you do this last one on this side, hold the leg, point, flex, at the ankle now. Then invert, evert. The foot goes a little in, a little out, a little in, a little out. Then circles. One direction, pick one, doesn't matter, circle. Pick the other direction now, circle. And switch legs. Other foot out, point and flex. Invert, evert, a little in, out. Circles. Other direction. And down. Make sure you are, in fact, all the way scooted to the front edge of your chair. Swivel steps. So lift the ball of your left foot, turn on the left heel. The knee and toe point out. Then the heel goes out, the knee comes in, but it's all moving from the hip. Now, toe out, knee out, heel out, knee in. Protect your knee on this one. That's the one that can feel kind of weird. And then finally, toe out, toe stays up, and just hold open for a moment. Now walk it in. Knee and toes in, heel in, knee out, toe in, knee in, heel in, knee out, and in. Now let's walk it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Really moving from the hip. That's the intention of this exercise, or the primary intention, is to get a feeling of that rotating space where the leg plugs into the hip socket, and you're move my move, trying to create freedom, a feeling of liquid freedom where the leg moves as if it's floating in a tank of liquid, which in a sense it is, especially when our muscles are loosened up to the other leg. So the toe out, knee out, heel out, knee in. And it's this tension and sort of blocked quality in the hips that makes us feel very brittle, very not adaptable to, losing our balance. And we might think strength is tightening everything, but tightening things make us not adaptable, not supple. So these movements are soft, opening, polishing, loosening, opening, yielding, right? It's all that direction that we're trying to go, so that our movement becomes freer and freer, more and more free. All right, hands on your thighs here, just forward fold, hinging at the hips. So now the legs are not moving, but the pelvis is moving. Whereas before the pelvis stayed still, the leg don't move. Now the legs don't move, but we fold at the hips. When you come up, lean a little bit back, so you get that feeling of opening this space here, and then closing this space here, fold, and then opening that space, and then close. All right, so that finishes our seated work. We're going to stand up and sit down a few times. So the feet need to come a little bit back, right? So they're not out here when we try to stand up. You want them just a little bit under and behind the knees comfortably. And then rather than thinking powering your way up, instead fold, and notice how as you fold, your body weight spills into your legs. So you stop using the chair so much, and then you're now in your legs, and you can just push through your legs and up you go. And then when it's time to sit down, a lot of times what people do is they look back and go reaching, and they fall back into their chair. What we want to do is fold in half, sink the butt down and look for the chair with your tush, and then sit back to vertical. So again, whenever I say standing up, there's a lot of people I'm working with privately, and what you notice is people try to just force their way straight up, and one of my clients is really hurting her knees through this action, and that knee pain goes away when they learn this little trick. Soft, arms loose. Also noticing this looseness of the arms. You don't have to actually do very much with your arms, you just let them go. So when you fold, they're out here naturally, and then they stay loose so that when you stand up, they just hang like little pendulums right in place. And then when we fold, as the butt goes back, the arms and shoulders are loose, the arms naturally hang here out in front, you sink, and so they become sort of a counterbalancing weight on this scale. Your butt's back here, your head and shoulders and arms over here. Last time. Now do a couple where you don't sit in your chair, but you fold and sink, and think of this like you're going to go touch your own toenails, but not by effort. You're going to get so don't sit in your chair now, come right back up. So we're folding, sinking down, getting very near the toes just by getting out of the way, and then push through the earth and come right back up to a nice, tall, easy standing. Fold and sink. Rise. So again, we're just polishing. So we're not sitting down for these last few here. We're just sinking and rising. All right. Now that we're up, standing, you got your feet on the ground. You've got more foot out in front of your ankle, so you can tip a little bit towards the toes, right? So when I let my body weight go forward, notice what I'm not doing. I'm not folding here to get my body weight. I'm keeping a vertical line and just letting it tip forward. Now, because I have more foot out in front, the body can make this angle that you see my body at, but we don't have that in the back. So when we come back and try to tip to the heels from our middle, we shouldn't be like this. That would be how you fall backwards. Instead, you go back to your heels and the body makes almost a little C curve and then rock forward and rock back. So this practice is really good at helping us find middle, at not feeling like we're gripping onto the floor, but rather that we have this floating middle that's connected through a conduit, and we can change passively. We can change. Here we're connecting through the toes, through the front of the foot. Here the middle, here the heels, and all the while we're just nice and comfortable and balanced. Now, the next time you come forward to your toes, stay in your toes, and then softly go over so you're more in the right toes, and the left foot not really being used. And then staying forward in the toes, come across to double, and then over so you're more in the left. But feel how this creates a wonderful exercise for the ankles, calves, knees, hips, core, in fact. The deep core through your body, especially the more relaxed you are while you do this, the more you start working on the deep stabilizing core of the body. Now, the next time you're in your right foot, the toes, stay there and go back along that foot to the heel of that foot. All right, so if I turn sideways, you can see I was in the toes. Now I'm back and I'm in just this heel. This foot's kind of empty. I'm not saying you should pick it up off the ground, but I'm just showing you. And then go forward again to the toes and then back towards the heel of that right foot. Forward and back. One more. Forward. Now stay in the toes and come across the toes. So now you're in your left foot and go back to the left heel and forward to the left toes. All the while your middle is just relaxed, just hanging out. Forward and back. One more. Now this next time as you go back to your left heel, stay in your heels, crossing. So you're in both heels for a moment, and then you're only in the right heel. And then come up along that right foot to the toes, come across so you're in both toes, and then just the left toes. And then back to the heel, come across the heel so you're in both heels, and then just the right heel. And then up to the toes and around. So notice we're now kind of doing a circle, but inside of that circle has to be this stable middle quality. Let's reverse the circle. Come back to that right heel, across the heels, up that left foot to the toes and across. And again, with my hand, I'm just kind of guiding because you might not be able to see. But this is also best done with arms just hanging loose. And then find your way to the middle of the middle of the middle. So you're on the middle of the feet, neither forward nor back, and you're able to find your center that much better. Now move a little closer to your right side chair. And this is my left hand, but I'm going to call it my right hand for most of what we do so that you can see, or I'm your mirror, okay? So now body weight shifts over into the right leg, lifting left heel and getting to the tippity tips of the toes, but keep the toes touching the floor. And then lower that whole left foot down to the floor and then shift the weight. Noticing that shift of weight is an internal experience. Then that foot being empty, I can lift to the tippy toes. I put the whole foot down, it's still empty. And then that internal mechanism change of body weight to the right leg. Once I'm established, this left foot being empty, get to the tippy toes, whole foot down without any body weight. That's usually what people accidentally do, is they go into it with their whole body. So put the whole foot back down, empty, and then internal mechanism change, tippy toe. Now let's go to level 2. As you get to the tippy toes, little small disconnect, reconnect, shift. And that's where the chair can come in handy. Disconnect, reconnect. And so level 2 is this idea that it could just disconnect a centimeter from the ground, or less than a centimeter, right? You might just a little lift, but that adds this layer of sort of fear and challenge that you then get a chance to try and relax in the face of disconnecting one foot. And level 2 becomes level 3 when you just think, okay, now I'm going to try and lift that leg as high as I can, then change. And it's not just the lift. Even more difficult sometimes is the lowering of the leg without letting the body weight slam into it. And then here, down, change. Up, down, change. Okay, now, weight in your left leg. Put that right foot out in front, the heel softly touching the ground. And again, not way out in front, just comfortable distance, right? And rock your weight into your right foot, getting to the tippy toes of the left, and then rock your weight back into the tip of the heel. This floating middle, arms hanging loose unless they need to be touching the chair or something like that. This is level 1, where feet never leave the ground, but we work on one full, one empty, other full, other empty. Now, from here, level 2, you might need your hand on the chair for this. Disconnect, reconnect, shift. Back foot, like a little flamingo. Disconnect, reconnect, shift. Front foot, disconnect, reconnect, shift. Disconnect, reconnect, shift. Floating middle, relaxed body, have that integrity of alignment, but the quality of softness. Combination of that is what Tai Chi is centered around. Let's go to level 3, which is this front leg, not just little lift, but let it fold on up and lift, and then set it back down softly and shift. And now your back leg, not only the heel to the butt, but also knee forward and up, and then reaching the toe back, finding the floor without any weight in it. Shift. Up, down, shift. Forward and up, toe back, shift. Just continue. Polishing out areas of tension, right? And over time, you're just using softness to move this body to its range. Last. Now, as we finish that, shift into your left leg, bring your right foot to match your left foot, shift into your right, side step so you're now closer to your other chair. Now the left foot empties, put it out in front, the heel empty, and then we rock, get to the tippy toes of the right foot, rock back, tip of the heel. Continue. This is level 1. of this simple exercise of just finding how do we keep our floating middle? How do we keep this idea of the teacup just resting atop the head undisturbed while we're moving forward through space? Moving backwards through space. Forward. Back. Level 2. Empty leg from the hip. Straight leg lift and back down. Shift. Back leg like a flamingo. Bend the knee. Toe back down. Shift. Disconnect. Reconnect. Shift. Disconnect. Reconnect. Shift. Just continue. Polishing round by round. Level 3 next, where not only do we lift, but we let it fold and lift all the way up, all the way down, shift. Back leg, not only heel to butt, but knee forward and up, toe back, shift back. Up, down, shift. Forward and up, back, shift. One more. All right, we go back to the other side. So step left foot back, shift into it, side step, shift over, bring that other foot in, and now we're closer hopefully to this left chair. Now put your right foot in front. Level 1, shift into the right foot. Left foot is empty. So we're just going to do this little swing forward and back a couple times. Swing, 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 swing. Okay, so the next time you swing that back foot forward, then just shift right into it. And now shift back. Once this front foot is empty, swing it back to the tippy toe and shift back. Shift forward, swing that empty foot, shift forward, shift back, swing the empty foot, shift back. So you got to achieve one full, one empty, and then your movement is more stable and free. So one full empty, step the empty, one full empty, back foot's free. And then shift, swing, shift. Shift, swing, shift. This is level 1. Most like regular walking that you could do, just easy, relax. Now let's go level 2. Front leg, disconnect, reconnect, shift. Back foot as if stepping up over something. It doesn't have to be very high, but just picture that you're picking that foot up and then setting it down out in front and then shift. And then this back leg, like a flamingo. Up, back down, shift back. Now this little tricky bit, the front leg comes up, knee bend, and then you got to push the leg back, get the toe to the floor, shift back. Front leg lift, lower, shift, small obstacle, up and over, and then shift. Back leg like a flamingo, up and down, shift back, and again, up, tuck, reach, shift back, up, down. A few more, level 2. And just make it as small as you'd like it to be, but keep in mind, empty, full. One empty, one full, then change. The empty leg is the free leg. So the power is really in the fact that the leg is empty. And then level 3 is just that movement taken up a notch. So we lift, lower, shift, and this back leg goes heel to butt, knee up, foot out, down, shift, and then forward it up. And again, you can use your chair for this whole thing. Have your hand on the chair the whole time. So now up, tuck, push back, shift back. Right? So then it's lift, lower, shift. Hand can be on the chair, heel to butt, knee up, foot out, lower, shift. Hand is still on that chair. Bring that knee forward and up, and then we reverse. Back, shift, up in front, tuck the foot, reach, shift, up. Let's do a few more like that. Last one. Feet together, side step. Hand can be on this chair as much as you'd like. Level 1. Left foot in front. Shift. Now, just back foot, swing forward and back. Toe touch, heel touch. Toe touch, heel touch. And notice we're not picking the foot up very much, right? We're not picking it up and doing that. We're getting this feeling of this little pendulum swinging quality of that leg, which is how most of the time we walk. We swing the leg. We just let it swing, right? Now, after you swing it forward one more time, then shift into it. And then let's shift back, swing back, shift back. Shift forward, swing forward, shift forward. Shift back, swing back, shift back. One full empty, step the empty, other full empty. So just find this internal mechanism that changes weight, and then the free foot can step and then changes weight. One more, level 1. Level 2. Disconnect, reconnect, shift. Back foot as if stepping up over an obstacle. Shift. Back leg is going to do a little flamingo. Down. Then we shift back. Now front leg has to lift up in front, bend, push back. Shift. Disconnect, reconnect. So this one's always a little easier because we can see, and it's just what we're normally doing. We're walking forwards, right? But this walking backwards is such good practice to keep our nervous system very embedded and functioning well within the body. We don't want to let any areas or directions of movement become blind spots. And so that's what's happening as we're all aging if we're not doing something about it. And then Parkinson's just makes that extra difficult. But these exercises are exercises everybody should be doing. All right, now let's go level 3 after we finish this. So level 3 just means full lift, down, shift, back leg exaggerated, heel to butt, knee up, foot out, lower it, shift, and then back leg heel to butt and knee up, only to then reach back, shift, knee up, tuck foot, reach, shift, lift, lower, shift. One more. and together. Final exercise of this direction of movement. So if your chairs are set up the way I had you do it, you should sort of have a kind of like a runway across going this way, right? So come to the left side of your runway. Your hand can be on your chair or not, but they're there if you need them, right? Now, one foot in front, empty, shift. When the other foot's empty, swing it, shift, swing it, shift, swing, shift, swing, shift. So just the most like normal walking. Then shift back, wait for the front foot to be empty, swing it back, find the floor with the toe, shift back, swing, find the floor, shift back, shift back, shift back. Again, level 1. Level 2, lift, lower. Now, every step is an obstacle. So shift, step over an obstacle. Shift, step over an obstacle. Shift, over, shift. Going backwards, same idea. Shift. The leg has to come up, tuck, reach, and that's a really good balance challenge right there, to step back and not have any weight in it, and then shift. So this might be one of the best ones. Here, tuck, and then this moment, reaching the foot back, finding the floor, but staying in your front leg. Notice how my body has to kind of tip a little to keep that balance. Shift. Up, tuck, reach. Up, tuck, reach. Good. One more, level 2. Lift, lower. So this is kind of easy going forward because we're just used to this, right? But then this might be the most valuable because we're going shift and we're having to find our middle and really find that stability there. Then shift, up, tuck, reach, shift. And shogun, just where you're standing, arms sweep out, up, over, and settle, 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 down to your belly button height. And that's just to take a moment after we've done quite a bit to just find a moment of doing nothing. Just let everything settle down, settle in, find the middle, the mind clear. All right, now lateral movement or side steps. Just tilt my screen down here. Okay. So we're now again on the left side of the runway. Body weight into your right leg. I'm sorry, left leg. Sorry, left leg. Right foot free to step out and in. All right, so I'm going to turn around so I can see you guys. So the weight is in your left, right foot, out and in. So notice the lighter and emptier this leg, the quicker the movement can be. But at no point am I rushing or forcing. It's just empty. So practice this loose quality, and then over time, that can become fast, should you want it to. Now, foot out. Change the weight, so now it's right leg full, left foot empty, and then change back. And change. So we're moving laterally through space, but mostly down through the leg. Down through the leg. Down through the leg with a soft quality. Down. Now, the next time you're in your right leg, stay there. Bring left foot in, out. Just find that adduction, abduction, adduction, abduction. And then bring that left foot in. Now, feet as close together as you can get them. Change the weight to the left leg. Change the weight to the right leg. Change to the left. Change to the right. But with your feet together, what you have to find is internal mechanism, or what I see sometimes when people haven't found this mechanism is the upper body sort of leaning and tipping like this. Relax that and do it from in here. Change the weight. Change the weight. Change. Change. Now, the next time you're in your left leg, right foot empty, step it out. Shift. Once the left foot's empty, step it in. Shift, step right foot out. Shift, step left foot in. Shift, step right foot out. Shift, left foot in. Change, then step. Change, then step. Let's go back the other way. Step. Change, then step. Change, then step. Change, step. Change, step. Change, step. Change, step. Change, step. Change, step. Let's go there and back again. In, out. Change, step. Soft. Body integrity, alignment. But this state of relaxation is so key, in my view, for the Parkinson's issues, right? And so the more you master being sort of that Tai Chi quality of ease, soft, melting through movement, the idea is that the nervous system is less likely to get agitated, stuck, start causing all this dyskinesia or whatever else it'll cause. And so becoming a master of down regulation. And so use these exercises to sort of polish the nervous system. Don't focus on how fast you're doing, how fast you're getting from where you're going, but focus on mastery of down regulation, easing through movement, keeping the integrity, but not through tension. And once more, shogun, wings, roll, fold, down through the middle, and step in between your chairs on either side. So you can get to them if you need. Let your arms relax. Empty your right foot. Turn the right foot 90 degrees external. Notice that your hips turn a little bit with that. Bring your foot back to neutral. Notice the hips turn back to neutral. And then that same right foot, the heel goes out and toes come in. Notice the hips naturally rotate a little as well, or turn a little bit that way. And then we're back to neutral. Out, neutral, in. Neutral. Now let's skip neutral. Just go out, in, out, in. And remember, one full, one empty. So left leg is your full leg. Right leg and rest of body is light and empty and loose and free. Okay? And back to neutral and switch. Change your weight to your right leg. So external, neutral, internal, neutral, external, neutral, internal. Let's skip neutral, internal, external. So noticing the right leg is a stable, unmoving tree trunk, and everything else is free. Everything else is loose. And back to neutral. Now, quarter turns to our right. So turn right foot out, Now you shift into that right leg, the left foot becomes empty. Bring the left foot to match the right foot. Change the weight to the left foot again, right foot empty, turn it out. Shift and turn. So now you're 180 degrees turn. Empty the right foot again and turn it out, stepping it empty, and then shift and step. Empty the right foot again, turn it out, shift. So if you can, challenge yourself. Watch me, please. A lot of times what people do with this exercise is they keep the heel on the ground and they just turn on the heel, but they stay rooted. Challenge yourself by emptying this leg, picking it up a little bit, and turning it, and setting it down empty. Then shift. This left foot empty, step it and float it into place, land it, and then shift. So the right foot kind of disconnects from the floor, turns out, and then shift. That left foot disconnects from the floor, step around. So that you're really breaking this feeling of being glued to the ground with both legs. We're going around 3 times to the right. Keep that idea of integrity, structural integrity, but then softness. Softness. There's a John Wooden basketball, he's a basketball coach. His quote that he said to his team was, "Be quick, but don't hurry." And I really like that. It's a very Taoist idea because it's saying when we're hurrying, we're actually not moving efficiently. We're getting all tense and getting in our own way. And so that when you're in a state of relaxation, let's go the other way, left foot out, that you eventually can be very quick, but you're in a state of total ease, right? Because you're efficient. So notice, can you move around in your space with efficiency rather than a rushing or a hurrying idea? And again, with Parkinson's, that is absolutely a necessary survival skill, right? Because the nervous system is extra vulnerable, extra triggerable. So any amount of, oh, I gotta hurry up, that becomes a very big problem. And so just master efficient, relax, easing your way around space, knowing that you can get there in plenty of time. You can get to the phone, or you can get where you got to go, or get out of the way of somebody, whatever it is, by being efficient and relaxed, not rush. Now, the next time you're facing forward, hopefully you've done 3 in each direction. Now, instead of turning that right foot out, we go heel out, toe in, and then shift into that right leg, and there's like a little quarter turn to the left. And then again, right foot turns in, the toes kind of pigeon toe, meaning point towards each other, and then shift into the right leg and bring the left foot to match it. So it's kind of like we're moving backwards around the circle instead of forwards. So we're setting up that foot, and then we're kind of shifting almost like backwards into that leg, and then turning, and let's go around 3 times this way. Take your time, no rush, and remember the same idea, trying to get a moment of disconnecting the foot and stepping it empty, and then choosing to put the weight through it, and the other foot is now empty. Empty, that foot that you're stepping is empty, stays empty even when you step it, and then shift. All the while your middle, the very nougat, the very core of your body is just floating. Relax. After you finish that 3rd time around, switch directions. Left foot turns in, shift on the left foot, bring the right foot to match. Left foot turns in, shift. Left foot turns in, shift. Three times. Just changing your orientation to the space you're in an efficient, relaxed manner. After your third one, facing forward. Remember, if there's any dizziness, take an extra second, let everything settle. Now we put those two together, right foot turns out. Not only do we shift into the right foot, but we also do a little pigeon toe step of the left foot so that in 2 foot movements, we're facing 180 degrees from where we started or thereabouts. And then you do it again, right foot, shifting into it, make sure you're well established in the right leg, left foot, pigeon toe, and then shift and rotate. Right foot turn out, shift, pigeon toe, turn. So now just try to get that flow of, if you had to check your surroundings, or you had to get yourself aimed, quite a bit away from where you are. So we're going around 3 times, 3 times. And after you finish that 3rd time, then we're going to go the other way. So turn left foot up. Shift. Pigeon toe that right foot. Shift. Turn the left foot out. Shift. Right foot. Shift. 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 Remember, everything's about the middle, being relaxed through the middle, and then using your limbs correctly. And again, shogun, wings, roll, fold, settle to the middle. And our last one that we've been working on, make sure your chairs are pretty wide apart for this one. You're going to come to the left side chair. So watch me do 1 round. So the right foot turns out. Now the key to this is that I am shifting and changing my orientation and then taking 1 forward step and shifting into that foot that way. So what we're working on is changing orientation and then advancing in that new direction. So it's right foot turns out, and then you're shifting, turning the body, and stepping in that new direction. And then the right foot turns out, shift, and take 1 step in that new direction. And then right foot turn out, shift, and 1 step in that new direction. So you want to be up into the chairs, sort of at the front end of the chairs, so that you can kind of stay within that safety range. Turn, let's all do it together now. Turn the right foot out, shift, reorient, and take 1 step and shift in that new direction, pausing there. Right foot should be empty at this point, so that it's ready to turn out, shift, take 1 step in that new direction. Right foot is empty again, so it turns out, shift, and step. And 1 more time, turn out, shift, step, shift. Let's go around again. So 2 times this square walk. So we're basically walking along more like a rectangle, I think. But the idea is that there's a corner that you're turning, shifting, and then you're taking a step along that line down. Now you're at this new corner, you turn that corner, shift, and take 1 step straight along that line. Turn the foot out, get around the corner, and take 1 step along that line. All righty, let's side step over to the other side. Rectangle walk or square walk. Turn left foot out. Shifting, turning, take 1 step in that new direction. Advancing, pausing there. So now we're going to get around this corner. Turn the foot, shift, take 1 step in that direction. turn the foot, left foot that is, shift into the left foot, right foot is empty. It takes one straight step across that line, that new line. Left foot turn out, shift, reorient, and step. Again, around the corner and a step along the line. Around the corner and a step along the line. Around the corner, step along the line. And finally, back to where we started. Okay, hands together, rub. Groin. Hip flexors around to the sacrum, up into the lower back a little bit. And then sweep down the outside of the legs, around and up the inside of the legs to the navel. Do it again. Groin, hip flexors, sacrum, tail, and then down, around, and up. One more. And then come up, over the shoulder, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Switch, up, down, up, down, up, down. And shogun, settle, seal. Thank you. All righty. Thanks for being here today. Happy Labor Day, everybody.